Jokes about men. 3 guys are at a restaurant, all with their girlfriends. The first guy, thinking he is all suave, says to his girlfriend, "Could you pass me the honey honey?" Now, the second guy, copying the first, says to his girlfriend, "Could you pass me the sugar sugar?" So now, the third guy is under pressure. He has to come up with something good. After a minute of thinking, he says to his girlfriend, "Pass me the pork pig." Marriage jokes. Marge was cheating on her husband with another man when they heard a noise on the stairs. "Oh, my God, your husband is home. What am I going to do? Just stay in bed with me. He's probably so drunk, he's not going to notice you." Sure enough, Marge's husband crawled into bed, but as he pulled up the covers, he exposed 6 feet. "Honey!" he yelled. "What the hell is going on? I see 6 feet at the end of the bed." "Dear, you're so drunk, you can't count. If you don't believe me, count them again." The husband got out of bed and counted. 1, 2, 3, 4. "By damn, you're right, dear." Blonde jokes. A plane is on its way to Detroit when a blonde woman in economy class gets up and moves into an open seat in the first class section. The flight attendant watches her do this, and politely informs the woman that she must sit in economy class because that's the type of ticket she paid for. The blonde replies, "I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm going to Detroit and I'm staying right here." After repeated attempts and no success at convincing the woman to move, the flight attendant goes into the cockpit and informs the pilot and co-pilot that there's a blonde bimbo sitting in first class who refuses to go back to her proper seat. The co-pilot goes back to the woman and explains why she needs to move, but once again the woman replies by saying, "I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, I'm going to Detroit and I'm staying right here." The co-pilot returns to the cockpit and suggests that perhaps they should have the arrival gate call the police and have the woman arrested when they land. The pilot says, "You say she's blonde. I'll handle this. I'm married to a blonde. I speak blonde." He goes back to the woman and whispers quietly in her ear, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry," then quickly moves back to her seat in economy class. The flight attendant and co-pilot are amazed and ask him what he said to get her to move back to economy without causing any fuss. "I told her first class isn't going to Detroit." Alcohol jokes. A man is in bed with his wife when there is a knock on the door. He rolls over and looks at his clock, and it's 3 a.m. "I'm not getting out of bed at this time," he thinks, and rolls over. Then, a louder knock follows. "Aren't you going to answer that?" says his wife. So he drags himself out of bed, and goes downstairs. He opens the door and there is man standing at the door. It didn't take the homeowner long to realize the man was drunk. "Hi there," slurs the stranger, "can you give me a push?" "No, get lost, it's 3 a.m. I was in bed," says the man and slams the door. He goes back up to bed and tells his wife what happened and she says, "Dave, that wasn't very nice of you. Remember that night we broke down in the pouring rain on the way to pick the kids up from the babysitter and you had to knock on that man's house to get us started again? What would have happened if he'd told us to get lost?" "But the guy was drunk," says the husband. "It doesn't matter," says the wife. "He needs our help and it would be the Christian thing to help him." So the husband gets out of bed again, gets dressed, and goes downstairs. He opens the door, and not being able to see the stranger anywhere he shouts, "Hey, do you still want a push?" And he hears a voice cry out, "Yeah, please." So, still being unable to see the stranger, he shouts, "Where are you?" And the stranger replies, "I'm over here, on your swing." Jokes about women. A man was invited for dinner at a friend's house. Every time the host needed something, he preceded his request to his wife by calling her "my love," "darling," "sweetheart," etc., etc. His friend looked at him and said, "That's really nice. After all of these years you've been married to keep saying those little pet names." The host said, "Well, honestly, I've forgotten her name." Kids jokes. Jimmy's new baby brother was screaming up a storm. He asked his mom, "Where'd we get him?" His mother replied, "He came from heaven, Jimmy." Jimmy says, "Now I can see why they threw him out." Jokes about women. A masked man walks into a bank and holds it up at gunpoint to rob the bank. In the process of robbing the bank, his mask fell off. He quickly put it back on his face and asked the teller directly ahead of him if she saw his face. She admitted that she did, so he shot and killed her. He then turned to the teller that was beside the one her just killed and asked if she had also seen his face. She said that she did, and he shot and killed her too. He then turned to a man, a customer who just happened to be in the bank when the robbery was taking place. The robber asked the customer if he had seen his face. The customer replied, "No, but I trademark am pretty sure my wife did a." Jokes about women. Movie ratings explained. G. Nobody gets the girl. PG. The good guy gets the girl. R. The bad guy gets the girl. X. Everybody gets the girl. Disgusting jokes. Barnum and Bailey was transferring the circus from one town to another. The elephants were connected trunk to tail. They came along a railroad crossing and as the elephants were halfway across the tracks, a train came along and killed two of them. Shortly thereafter, B&M Railroad received an invoice from Barnum and Bailey for $10,000. B&M immediately called Barnum and Bailey and requested an explanation for the charge, writing, "What is the cost of a new elephant?" Barnum and Bailey responded, $1,000 each. B&M responded, "But, we only killed two of them." Barnum and Bailey said, "Yes, but you pulled the assholes out of 8 others." Kids jokes. A father went to take his daughter from school. While waiting, he heard her talking with a classmate of hers. "I worry so much. My dad works 16 hours a day so he can build a dream house for when I grow up. My mom spends her days cooking for me, making desserts and tidying my room so I can have fun. I worry. I trademark am so worried. With that kind of parents you have nothing to worry about." Her friend told her. "Yeah, but what if? What if they escape?"